Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today we got a new text from the House which was after the discussion with the moderate Democrats. Some people send me the link of this text and it's a very huge document, and the immigration section is just about 15 to 20 pages about it. So I went through the pain of reading through it and trying to understand what it meant for the EB category, and I wanted to share it with you. So if you are interested in this topic, watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now we have seen lot of these versions that have been submitted. So here is yet another version, because remember I had made a previous video that had included all the things that were Democrats were trying to put into the original bill, that was $3.5 trillion bill. Now this has it had a lot of opposition. It was rejected by Senate parliamentarian, and then they went to the plan B, and then they went to the plan C. Now seems like the Democrats are having some internal tussle, and they had a discussion with the centrists who are Manchin and Sinema, and they have come up with a tailored down version of this big bill, infrastructure bill. Now it is down to about 1.7 trillion, but the immigration section is still almost the same, and I'm going to read out some of the important points that you might be interested in. Now remember, this is a very big bill in the sense that it is very long to read. I really had a hard time. Finally, on the page 794 through 815 page numbers, we see some immigration text, and I'm going to just give you some summary out of it. I'll post the link in the description so that you guys can also read it by yourself and try to interpret it, because the language is very cryptic, and if I made any mistakes in my interpretation, do let me know in the comment section below. Now it seems that there is a lot of the same language that was in the original bill. For instance, they're still going back to 1972, and anybody who came into the country from 1972 to 2009, December 31st, 2009, can pay a supplemental fee of $1,500 in connection with an adjustment application. Now effective date of this one is 180 days from the enactment of this law, or 1st of May 2022. Now the next big section, and this was also in the original bill, is the recapture of unused immigrant visa numbers. Now what did that mean? They clearly say that FB category will have no less than 226,000 visa numbers for a particular year, and EB category will have no less than 140,000 visa numbers for a particular year. Now what has changed, or it was already included in the original bill, now what has changed is that they are still including the language to recapture all the unused visa numbers for EB category and FB category since 1992. So if there were any visa numbers every year, so every year there is a quota, and if the USCIS is not able to meet that quota to give out the green cards for that particular year, those visa numbers are not those visa numbers don't spill over into the next fiscal year. Exception is the FB to EB category visa spillover. So if there were any spillovers from FB category, they were used up by the EB category. Now what they are saying is they will go as far as back to 1992 through 2001 and see and recapture all these unused visas for these two categories and make them available in the future years. Now it remains to be seen how they are going to deal with this provision that whatever FB category visas were unused, they spill over into EB and they are kind of used as well. So if they were already used, I don't know how they will be recaptured for FB category. But for EB category, it might be a straightforward equation, and from few sources I understand that there might be as many as 300,000 visas available from all these years since 1992, because they did this once in 2004 or 2005, so they may have recaptured some of those. So it remains to be seen what would that actual number will look like. But this, if that happens, there will be a lot of recapture numbers for EB category, and that could have a positive impact on on the priority dates. So that is something to look for. Another section is for the diversity visa lottery. If there were any unused numbers since 2017 until 2021, those will be recaptured, and those people will be invited to apply for their adjustment of status, so that those numbers that were not allocated will be reused. This is for the diversity lottery. Then it also retained the language that anybody who was refused a visa in the last 4 years since 2017, they go back to the time when Trump administration took over, and there were a lot of different proclamations that were made for travel ban and entry ban, and as a result of that, a lot of people did not get their visas, immigrant visas or non-immigrant visas, and so on. Now those people will have another chance and another opportunity to reapply at the consulates and get the visa, because they are saying that those proclamation basically did not give them a chance to come to the United States. Some were not able to seek admission because of the COVID protocols and things like that. So all of those people will have a second chance to reapply for the visa, immigrant visa, and come to the United States. So that is something to look for. Now this is the most important thing that I also wanted to point out, that the section still exists in this final. I don't know if this is going to be a final one, but at least in the new bill text that has come in, it still retains the provision. If you have been waiting for your green card, if your underlying immigrant petition is approved, say for instance in the EB category, if your I-140 has been approved for more than 2 years, you pay a fee of $5,000 and you will be able to get into the adjustment of status. Now with the current law, you have to wait until the filing dates or the final action date becomes current for your priority date, and it could take many years for the backlog countries. Now this new provision will allow you to apply for adjustment of status after 2 years of waiting, after you get your immigrant petition approved. So once your I-140 is approved and 2 years have passed, regardless of your priority date being current, you will be able to apply for 485, which is adjustment of status. Now my interpretation of this is you will still be bound to those yearly caps for EB categories. So if you are an EB3, EB2, you will be still subject to those final action dates to become current to actually get your green card. But at least from the process perspective, you will be in the final stage of the green card, which is adjustment of status, and you will continue to avail the services such as EAD and advanced parole for working and traveling outside the United States. Now remember, if your date is not current, it could take many years to still get that date current in the final action date chart for you to ultimately get your green card. But this at least gives you an opportunity to get into that final stage, get your EAD, and that will allow you to change your job, start a business, and so on and so forth. So this is a very good provision, and a lot of people are going to be very happy with this this particular section of the bill. So that's all I wanted to say. Now again, they have also made it, if this passes, it will be effective 1st of May 2022. So we still have a couple of months to go, and we don't know when this is going to be passed, but the earliest, they are taking the earlier date, whether it's 6 months or 1st of May, whichever comes first. So let's go by 1st of May if this bill passes. But this is going to be a very good provision for a lot of people, because you will finally get into that final stage and get your EAD at the least. Now they have tried to, because this is a budget bill, they have put a lot of fees, supplemental fee of $500 for students, for EAD cards, for non-immigrant visas, and a lot of things, because somehow they wanted to kind of put a budget factor in this immigration text. So they are kind of trying to prove that this is going to give them that money to fund USCIS and Department of State and so on and so forth. So that's how, so if you think about it, this is a very small section that Democrats have slid into this big budget bill that they are going to get, they are trying to get passed, and they are very close to getting this passed. We haven't heard, we'll watch the news, see what happens, because there is still a lot of inner fighting going on within the Democratic Party. The centrist and the far left are have a lot of things to compromise on, and White House also has a lot of things to compromise on. So we'll see when this bill passes, but if it passes as it is, so those recaptured numbers are going to help EB category, and also this section for paying for $5,000 and getting into the final adjustment of status. This is going to help a lot of people. And one thing I forgot to mention is they are also going to remove the derivatives from the numerical limit. So as per the law today, if there are 4 people in the family, all 4 of them, the primary applicants, their spouse and their children, all of them use individually a separate visa number. But with the new law that they are going to, but the new text that they are going to try to pass, they are going to remove the derivative applicants such as spouses and children from the numerical limits. This is going to exponentially boost the number of visas available for the people, because now only one visa number will be used up by a family and not 4 or 5. So that is kind of another good news. So all in all, I think if this text passes as it is, there is a very good chance that it is going to be a very good news for employment based category. So I hope you like the content of this video, and if there was any discrepancy in terms of interpretation, do let me know in the comment section below. This is a very cryptic language, and this is what I understood from it. So if you like the content of this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.